Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is May 4th, the unofficial holiday for Star Wars. So that got me thinking, let's make a tier list of all the live action Disney Plus Star Wars shows that we have available. So as we're recording right now, I have 9 seasons of Star Wars television, all from Disney Plus. We're going from S tier all the way down to D tier. We're gonna break it down. So let's get into the video. All right, where do we want to start? We have the Mandalorian seasons, Boba Fett, Kenobi, Andor, Ahsoka, Acolyte, and the Skeleton Crew. I want to start off with season 1 of the Mandalorian because that was the show that really kicked us all off. It's the first Disney Plus Star Wars show that we got. So season 1 of the Mandalorian, I think the story was very simple and it worked. He's a bounty hunter that's going around. When he finds Baby Yoda, it really kicks off the whole series and we get a look into the bigger problems going on in the universe at this time. So where do we want to put season 1 of the Mandalorian? It's very simple, to the point. I think that's what Star Wars needed though at that time. I'm gonna put it at S tier. I'm comfortable with putting season 1 at S tier. So season 2 of the Mandalorian, I think this expands everything from season 1 of the Mandalorian. We get a lot more cameos from characters that we know, but they're all done tastefully. We see Bo, we see Boba Fett, Fennec Shan. We see a lot of characters in this, a lot of great episodes. I think the standout from season 2 is like the Bill Burr episode where he's playing that ex-Imperial. I feel so cheap for putting in S tier, but I'm gonna put it in S tier with season 1. Where do I want to put the Boba Fett show? I remember it was like pitched as like a dark crime show where it's like crime families and stuff like that on Tatooine, but that's not the show we got. The cameos were pretty weird. There's a lot of flashbacks to his Tusken days. I think the real weird part was when he gets that motorbike gang that drives the scooters around. That was definitely bizarre. Some of the best episodes on the show though were like from the Mandalorian and Luke Skywalker. It wasn't from Boba himself, which is kind of sad when that's your own show. Do I want to put it? I'm gonna put it at B for now, but if I feel like it needs to go down, I'll put it down. Next series up, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was definitely hyped when this series was announced. I think that first trailer where they used Duel of the Fates was so amazing. That was cheating kind of now in retrospective after watching this series, but I think my problem with Kenobi is a lot of the side characters I do not care about. There's so many side characters in the show and I remember their faces, I do not remember their names. And there's a pilot that dies and I remember that scene because like all the characters are sad, and I think we're supposed to be sad that that pilot's gone, but we didn't spend enough time with that pilot. I don't even know the pilot's name, but I just remember that scene. The highlights of the Kenobi series was definitely like Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen playing as Darth Vader. Their duel at the end was amazing. I wish we had more of that in the show and not so much of these side characters we got. I thought young Princess Leia was pretty solid too on the acting. Where do we want to put Kenobi? Okay, this is our first crossroads. Do I want to put him at B and bump Boba at C? I think I'm gonna put Kenobi at B, and I'm gonna put Boba Fett at C, because I enjoyed at least watching Kenobi towards the end a lot more than the book of Boba Fett. All right, now we have season 1 of Andor. I was actually surprised on how much I liked this series, because when it was pitched about Diego Luna getting a spinoff, even though we knew what happens to his character at the end of Rogue One, I was on the fence because I didn't know what story they were gonna tell and would it be worth it. And after watching season 1, it was totally worth it. I think Andor really showed the knit and grit that we don't get to see in the movies, because the movies are definitely like over the top and bombastic, which is good because we like to see lightsabers, we like to see the Force, we like to see all that, but it's good to get a different perspective of Star Wars. So where do we want to put Andor? I think Andor's a S for me. So now we have Mandalorian season 3. Mandalorian season 3 was definitely a step back from season 1 and season 2 of the Mandalorian. My problem with Mandalorian season 3, I think at this point of the show, we don't really need a bounty hunter adventure anymore with Grogu and Din. I think we need to see the bigger aspects of the story that they're telling with the remnants of the Empire and the other mysteries of Grogu's background. I don't need to see Jack Black and Lizzo on an episode that takes up half the runtime. There were some good episodes in season 3. I like the finale. I like everything they do on Mandalore. I thought that was all great. I just think we need to kind of streamline the experience more on Mandalorian. So where do we want to put season 3? Everything in my body is telling me to put it at B, so we're gonna put Mando at B. All right, we have Ahsoka season 1. I do have some problems with the series. I think in general, I think Ahsoka as a main character does not show enough emotion, so she gets lost when there's other side characters who get way more screen time. By watching this show, you would have guessed like Sabine was the main character, not Ahsoka, because Ahsoka just doesn't show any emotions, and that was definitely a problem. I think there's pacing issues with the show. I think the show is way too short. It's Some things that I did like about the show, I thought Baylan Skoll and his apprentice were great. I do like how the show pushes some of the Mandoverse things forward. I like Thrawn, I like Ezra. I think the best standout was the Hayden Christensen episode, The World Between Worlds, where she gets to meet her master again. They get to experience the Clone Wars again in a flashback. She learns more about herself. I thought that was a highlight. I'm going to put Ahsoka probably in C tier with Boba, because I feel like they share some of the same issues where it's supposed to be the main character of the show, but they get lost in the background. All right, next we have the Acolyte, which is pretty easy for me. It's a solid D tier. I have a lot of problems with the Acolyte. I wanted to really love this show, but there's just so many things pushing me away. I think the acting isn't great on a lot of the characters. I think Manny Jacinto is his name. He plays the stranger. He's the best part of the show. I wish we got more about him being a dark side user, because the twins, I'm forgetting their, I think it's Osha and May, they're just really forgettable, and I kind of get them mixed up honestly with each other. I wish they just got two different actors to play the two different characters instead of having one actor play twins. I think the show doesn't do its mysteries very well. I think there's a certain point where I just gave up on the mysteries of the witches, the convergence, all that stuff. I kind of just didn't care anymore at a certain point. But for that, I'm going to put the Acolyte at D tier. The last show up is Skeleton Crew. Looking back at it right now, I'm surprised how much I like Skeleton Crew over some of these other shows. If you told me before that Skeleton Crew was going to beat the Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka, Mandalorian season 3 and Kenobi, I would not believe you. But honestly, I do like this one over all those shows, so I'm going to put it in A tier. It's a original story, very low stakes. I think all the kids were great actors. Jude Law was a very complex, solid character. I thought the visuals were amazing. Just a very simple story, which sometimes Star Wars needs just a straightforward, fun adventure. All right, to go over our tiers, we have Mandalorian season 1 on S tier. We have Mandalorian season 2 on S tier. We have Andor on S tier. We have Skeleton Crew on A tier. We have Obi-Wan Kenobi at B tier. Mandalorian season 3 at B tier. All right, we have Ahsoka at C tier, and we have the Book of Boba Fett at C tier. And then we have the Acolyte at D tier, which I'm comfortable with leaving Acolyte there. It's just, all right, that was our tier list for the live action Star Wars series on Disney Plus. So let me know down in the comments what you would change. Who would you move up to S tier? Who would you move back down to D tier? Let me know in the comments, and I will see y'all next time.